Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another EVE Online video. Now before we get into this one, I am sick. I don't know, I feel like absolute shit. But my son has also been sick, so I think that mine's just mostly run down from the lack of sleeping. But so if you hear it on my voice, I do apologise. But with that being said, in the last video we talked about some lucrative ore mining, and of course we are going to be talking about more of that within this one, just in a different sense. So in the last one we were talking about the ore that we were getting in Poshfin. Now some people had some comments to say about that where I wasn't making that much money per hour basically, but whenever you look at it in two different views, it does stack up. Okay, so one of the views is that compared to regular ore that you would get in a normal belt, whether that be pyroxene, scordite, feldspar, stuff like that, the Poshfin ore mining is a lot more lucrative compared to that. Secondly, and I think most importantly, whenever it comes down to it, why it's so lucrative for me, because it is about 75% of what I mined in Poshfin is actually used for reprocessing, so that I actually keep the materials for industry, so it goes back into that. And the values that you get in the likes of Expedishun and titanium and stuff from those ores is again a lot more per unit than you would get in the likes of feldspar, stuff like that. So that's why to me it was very lucrative. Again, we're talking about it's, I don't want to say it's wormhole ore because I'm pretty sure that it's not. It's rare ore, very rare ore, I believe. Now don't quote me on this, but I do believe that it only spawns in certain areas, one of them being a wormhole system with a blue star, I believe, and the other is on the border between nullsec and lowsec, I believe. Again, don't quote me on it, but it is, the ore itself is quite rare, and I do have my sheet here that I've got, just kind of going through it and seeing. So yeah, I came across it in a wormhole. We started doing some mining in that. I ended up getting one of my prospects out for it, or sorry, both of my prospects out for it. Just double mining, just doing what I can when I can, and going from there. Again, this rare ore is going to fall under the same category as only like 25% of what I mine is actually being sold. The rest of it is being reprocessed down into the likes of Expedishun and stuff like that. And I think that's how I make quite a good bit of profit, is because when it comes to the industry side of things and manufacturing certain items, it's a case of that I'm not going out and I'm not buying these materials. I'm mining and I'm gathering them myself. So anything that's titanium and Expedishun and all of those basic building blocks for manufacturing, I'm not buying any of them. I'm mining for them all, and I do a lot of that mining while I'm in work, so that I'm not really paying attention. So that whenever I do get some free time, which is very rare these days, but when I do get some free time, I'm able to just come in and do whatever it is that I need to do and go forward from there. So the one thing that I will say is, even though this is rare ore, the one that I farmed the most and mined the most would be Ethereum, if that's how you pronounce it. I ended up selling in and around about, I only sold about 15 million's worth last month. I know that I haven't went over what I've sold in the month, but yeah, I've subsequently, so about 50 million within the last month that I sold at the end of November. And honestly, it was probably about 200 million's worth that was reprocessed. And of course I done jet ochre, which the jet ochre is the more it's the more valuable of them all. So it is. You don't mine as much per cycle, but the value per unit is a lot higher. So for talk's sake, the Ethereum per unit was about 900 ISK. Per cycle, you are mining a lot more. But the Jet Ogre itself was only, or while you mine a lot less per unit, it was being sold for 9,500 ISK, compressed, of course. There is another one that I mined in there, and it's called Mordonium. Didn't sell, hasn't sold. So there's a very high chance that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it down off the marketplace and then just reprocess that, and then going forward I will know that that doesn't sell well, so any of that I do, all 100% of Mordonium will just be straight up reprocessed. But again, this is one of these things where I'm taking out these ships and I'm going to wormholes to mine this stuff. And the Ethereum that I sold 50 million's worth. That's already covering one of the prospects. Straight off the bat, that's covering one of the prospects. And whenever you're able to take a ship out, and basically within an hour, slightly above it, you're making back that ship's value, plus then whatever else I'm doing for the reprocessing, is always a good investment in my belief. You can take out a Hulk, where a Hulk is like 350 million. You take it into a wormhole, you're just asking for trouble. So double prospects coming in here, mining all of this stuff, a lot of it going back into reprocessing for both Expedition 1 and Expedition 2, so that they can do their industry stuff. So there's a lot more profit being made than just selling this, because again, all the industry stuff is basically 100% profit, other than the ISK that I would have spent to first off buy the blueprint, and then the ISK that I would have spent to research the blueprint to maximum efficiency, both for time and materials, and then the ISK that I would have spent for the actual manufacturing process, which isn't an awful lot. If I look at this and I say, right, well, I've bought an osprey, if I come up here, give us a wee second, because within this I can tell you exactly how much I did. So the blueprint for the osprey cost me 200 million, okay, and I am selling the ospreys for about 11 million per unit, okay. So I'm pretty sure that osprey that I bought, what that one was, that was a full 10 out of 20. Okay, so that osprey was not then needed to be researched and that time put in. So as soon as I sell, I've got about here, as soon as I sell 19 ospreys, which I'm already over halfway there, I will have already covered the value of the blueprint itself. And because I'm doing all of this mining in Poshfin and in these wormhole rare sites, again, not just wormholes that they appear in, because I am doing that in that regard, where I'm doing all of these, I'm selling 25% of it, and then I'm reprocessing the other 75%. Because these ores have such high values of the titanium and the isogen and stuff, I am not buying anything. So therefore, that when it comes to actually making and manufacturing, I don't need to worry about, right, well, how much have I actually bought of each type of material that goes into making this stuff. I just have to worry about, right, well, how much was the actual blueprint itself, which I've got noted down, and then I say, right, so I don't take into consideration the manufacturing cost, because if I was to manufacture 10 ospreys, you're probably talking maybe 10 million on top of on top of the actual cost, or the material cost. It's about 10 million ISK to do it, I believe. I could be wrong because I haven't checked it in a while, but I don't take that into consideration, because really the main overhead is, okay, this blueprint cost me 200 million, this is how much I need to sell of these to make my money back. That's on the kind of on the higher end of the stuff that I'd be doing, because like I says, I am currently in the early stages of the industry where I'm trying to figure out what I want to build. So being able to have a massive backlog of or a massive stash of these materials is amazing. And because the posh vein ore and the rare ore from Wormholes are all really heavy in certain materials for reprocessing, I have to spend less time mining than I would if I was just doing regular Felspar or plagioclase or scordite or stuff like that. So it's great that way. That is why the rare ore is very lucrative for myself, and that is why the posh vein ore is also very lucrative for myself. But yeah, obviously I haven't got around to doing the actual the monthly sellings for November, because it wasn't a full month. It was really not even a full half month. For the time that we actually put in, it has been quite good, but I'm thinking that I might just actually combine the December one and just do it at the end of December, start of January, and just show you what I made in November as well. But with that being said, yeah, we have been farming the ores. We've been doing gas huffing, but that's 100% sell. There's no reprocessing in that because there's nothing that I need. But yeah, the one thing that I will say is that people keep saying about me being aligned. Okay, let me rephrase this differently. I am not aligned. I am pointing at my jump out point. Okay, so I'll have a safe jump bookmarked and I will be pointing at that. The reason why I can't be quote unquote true aligned is because if you're aligned, basically what happens is you're traveling at your base speed. Okay, and because you're traveling at that speed, the prospect itself, without any afterburners on, I think is like 435 meters per second, give or take a couple of meters here and there, I believe. Well, my one is at least. And the range of the mining lasers is only 12 kilometers. So I wouldn't even get one full cycle before I'd be out of range and turning it off. Okay, so I'm pointing at the direction where I need to be jumping out to, and I'm also significantly far away that if someone comes up to us, I can use the covert ops cloaking device and then warp out. That is an option as well. One thing that I will, obviously go over is with the Ethereum and the Jado group. It's not exactly, if you're doing this for all profit, you're getting this, compressing it and selling it all, and not reprocessing any of it, it's not going to be massively lucrative. I don't go out searching for this. It's not like a posh vein ore where I jump in, I'm purposely getting into posh vein to do this. It's not like that at all. I only do this whenever I'm going through and actually getting some, I was going through a wormhole. I was just doing some data relic sites, and I was also looking for some gas sites. I did scan down like 4 gas sites in this wormhole, I believe, and the data and relic sites that I got in this wormhole was about 90 million, I believe. So not too bad. And it's only that I seen it, and I seen that it was the rare ore site, and I was like, right, I might as well try it and give it a try. And because I'm reprocessing, it is worth it. To be honest, it is worth it. So, but yeah, I wouldn't purposely go out of my way to look for it. It's one of those things that if you're going to be selling all 100% of it, if you come across it and you have some time, by all means go for it. I just wouldn't be looking for it by itself, because that way it's going to be a lot of, there's other ways that you can make more risk per hour, basically. So that is that. Don't go out looking for it. If I come across it, then by all means I will take some while I can get some. But that is going to do it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.